Tesla stock is probably going to end this week in the 400s, and I will explain why that is here in this video. First and foremost, Tesla in recent days has been experiencing a gamma squeeze. And let me give you a brief 30-second explanation of what a gamma squeeze actually is. A gamma squeeze mainly occurs when retail, hedge funds, and institutions are buying short duration options that are pretty close to the money. This forces market makers to start the process of hedging the back end because market makers, they provide liquidity to the market. So there's not always another retail investor, hedge fund, or institution to guarantee you shares at, let's say, $400. Because if you're buying a call, that means you're guaranteed shares at $400. So you profit if the stock goes to 410, 420, 500, 600, right? So on and so forth. So the market makers, they provide you that liquidity. Well, they have to give you shares at 400. So if the stock keeps going up, market makers have to keep buying shares. And that, in essence, is what a gamma squeeze is. And the bottom line really is, the main structure of this gamma squeeze, or the reason why this is happening, is because hedge funds, institutions, and retail investors at this point are starting to wake up to the potential of Tesla in 2025, from robotaxi, from new advancements in Optimus, from the guidance that Elon gave us for 20 to 30% delivery growth next year, the total addressable market increase that Tesla is going to experience next year when Tesla starts production of the Cybertruck. Look at the new Megapack factory that's going to be opening here soon in China. That's going to double the capacity of Tesla's Megapack products. Or what about the lower priced Tesla product that is supposed to be coming out in the early part of 2025, or the Cybercab, right? That really has to do with robotaxi. But there's a lot of different areas of Tesla that are on fire right now. And if you're looking for a stock that is going to benefit from deregulation, from lower interest rates, hopefully lower inflation, a good economy, a recovering consumer, there is no other stock like Tesla right now. I implore you to find me another stock that has more going for it in 2025 than Tesla. And that's really the basis for this gamma squeeze. Everything's going right for Tesla heading into 2025. And if you're short, if you're betting on Tesla to fall right now, and I'm speaking to you, it's probably not going to happen, at least until we start 2025. So don't hold your breath for it. Now, I did have some people ask in the last videos if Tesla would be down on Monday. I mean, that's just one day, but it's possible. Why? Because Tesla went up almost 7% on Friday. So even during gamma squeezes, you can have moments where Tesla or, any stock going through a gamma squeeze can fall a bit, especially over a weekend starting off a new trading day. You need to give it a little bit of time for that gamma squeeze to start up again. So don't be surprised if Tesla is down a little bit as we start this upcoming trading week. But it's not going to end there, in my opinion. And we do have some major catalysts this week, in which we will talk about later throughout this video. But at this point, with seasonals for December, I mean, you're positive 100% of the time. Historically, when the markets are up 20% during an election year, December has always been a positive month. I don't think December is going to be negative for markets at this point, and or negative for Tesla. So again, really at this point, we're just knocking out risk catalyst. And as these risk catalysts get knocked out, I think that just provides a reason for people to get more invested into this market. Like at this point, I think you would have to see a disaster CPI report this week to really cause markets to get concerned. And how likely is that in all actuality? Not that likely. Even with the jobs report that we had on Friday, yes, the headline numbers looked okay, but the household survey was absolutely terrible. We're in very much recessionary levels for the housing survey. The unemployment rate shot up to almost a 1-year or multi-year high. I mean, almost the same point that we were at in July when we started to have fears of a recession coming about. Did Wall Street care? Generally, no. Most stocks did very well on Friday. So we already talked about this in prior videos, and thank you guys for all the love and support you've shown on the video that came out 2 videos, now 3 videos ago. Incredible. Like, very, very heartwarming, the kind of support you guys showed, the love that you guys showed. It's always incredible to see that. So on Friday, for Friday's expiration, last Friday, December 6th, you had the highest volume that I have ever seen on single options, okay? For Friday, on only just Friday, you had 296,000 for volume on the 380 call. I mean, that's why you've seen the kind of activity we've seen, okay? Incredible amounts of volume. 208,000 for volume at the 375 call. So it's no wonder why Tesla really took off towards the end of the day, as those market makers had to pile into hedging all of these options. Now, it says unavailable for the 385 call and the 390 call, but I did already go ahead and make a post on X that shared the volume perspectives here that we seen on Friday. So for the 385 call, you had 166,000 for volume, and the 390 call, you had 113,000 for volume, and that is what drove Tesla stock higher. Now, what I also shared in the last video is you've seen a lot of activity as well around that $400 call for this upcoming Friday, for December 13th. You had 89,000, almost 89,000 for volume, and already 32,520 for open interest. So I'm sure this open interest number is going to skyrocket coming Monday morning once this does update a bit. But it already looks like people are positioning for another huge week for Tesla. I mean, look at this. 47,000 for volume on the 420 call. That's exceptional. I mean, just for a little bit of context here, Nvidia and Tesla are typically the number 1, number 2 most heavily traded stocks on any given day. Some days it's Nvidia, some days it's Tesla. But look at this. The options on Nvidia on the call side that expire this Friday, December 13th, on December 6th, had volume of anywhere from 34,000 to about 80,000. So, and these are near the money, and these are really not, that expensive, right? And a lot of these further out expirations, like the 155, had 43,000 for volume. Tesla's 420 calls had more volume than Nvidia's close to the money options. That is an exceptional sign that people are excited for Tesla in this upcoming week. I mean, just compare the face value of total options traded. For Nvidia on Friday, you had 261 different orders totaling $189 million with a positive order value of 78%. For Tesla, you had more than double that amount. You had 424 different trades totaling $418.62 million with a positive order value of 79%. So more than double the dollar amount and more positive overall than Nvidia. So given the kind of activity that we seen last week around this upcoming week's expiration, specifically that 400 and that 420 call, you're probably going to see more piling into these options. Strength tends to lead to more strength. And that's most likely going to happen here for Tesla. But again, I would not be surprised if Mondays, at least to start the day, a bit of a muted day overall. Again, you have to give it a little bit of time for that gamma squeeze to start up again. I think one of the big wild cards for the rest of this month, in fact, is what do the shorts do? Tesla short interest on free flow is 2.72%. You have $28.05 billion sold short in Tesla. Short sellers are down over $15 billion since the election. And 2025 looks to be a great year for Tesla, and Tesla stock is likely going much higher. So do shorts want to cover short positions before 2025? Take that loss, offset that to some of their capital gains they might have in other stocks? Maybe. And if shorts do opt to cover in December, mix that with a gamma squeeze and overall very strong seasonal trends, Tesla could be a $500 stock. by the end of this year. And I think that's what makes the difference between Tesla being in the 400s and Tesla being in the 500s. One question: do short sellers cover on their short positions? So far, we have not seen that. So this has not been a short squeeze. But if we start to see that, it's going to get very explosive to the upside. Now, there's the question of, do we want that to happen as long-term Tesla investors? I mean, I would like to see a pullback here, but it would not surprise me at all if shorts do cover on short positions heading into 2025. I mean, if I had a lot of gains in other areas, other big tech stocks, other areas of our markets, and just a big loss on this Tesla short position heading into what is likely going to be a good year for Tesla, I would probably take that loss and offset it with the gains in other areas. Reduce my client's taxable burden. But hey, there's an ego associated with shorting Tesla, so anything's possible. Now, there is some Tesla news today, and I will share that with you as well. First off, Trump meets with Macron and Zelensky in France. And take a wild guess who was there with him. Elon Musk. Elon Musk says that Gavin Newsom's career is, quote, over. And there is growing speculation that Kamala Harris will be running for governor in California. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Elon Musk also says that he is looking forward to having conversations with Bernie Sanders. Now, this is pretty incredible free advertising. The rapper Soulja Boy, really not much of a rapper anymore, more like a entrepreneur, right? He's mind blown by Tesla's FSD, and I gotta turn this volume way down because he's super loud in this clip.
Why the Tesla truck driving itself?
He's in the Cybertruck.
Hold on, man, what the?
And apparently can't believe what's going on. It's also reported the Tesla Model 3 was November's fastest selling used car in the UK, taking just 14.7 days to sell on average. Tesla's main X account posted this image and said, "Safety is sexy," where all Tesla models, besides the Cybertruck, which has not been evaluated in different continents, says exceeding safety standards across 4 continents, getting 5 stars from the NHTSA. With the Model Y getting 2024's top safety pick, and the Model 3 getting 2022's top safety pick. And this is pretty incredible. Tesla's supercharger network in North America reached a record high single-day energy consumption of 12 gigawatt hours on Saturday, November 30th, 2 days after Thanksgiving. Tesla's current sentiment over on StockTwits is neutral at 47. Yesterday, you were neutral at 51. This suggests, to me at least, from a contrarian perspective, there's still a lot more room to get bullish here before you should be using the whole sentiment is frothy argument against Tesla. Message volume is low at 36 today. Yesterday was high at 64, and participation ratio is high at 55. Tesla continues to run about 5,000 different ads with Google, and Tesla's global inventory numbers are starting to fall, which is a good sign. Model Y down to 7,800. Model X at 3,300, Model 3 at 3,600, and the Model S at 2,400. As I mentioned previously, this week you do have some important catalysts, and I will share with you the biggest ones. Now, there are some on Monday, but we'll talk about these a little bit more in depth in the next video. On Tuesday, you have a couple different things, but nothing too big. Wednesday's really your big catalyst with CPI. We are expecting month-over-month core to come in at 0.3%, the same as last month. Now, it does not actually come out as a round number. You actually get a bunch of decimals, right? So it could be 0.256, or it could be 0.27. There's a difference between those two that does make a difference. Okay, so we want to know what the actual number comes in at, because there is a rounding effect that takes place here. But again, generally speaking, lower is better, higher is worse. Core inflation year over year is expected at 3.3%. Both of these numbers would be unchanged from last month's report. Headline inflation is expected at 0.2% month over month, the same as last month. And year over year inflation is actually expected to rise from 2.6% to 2.7%. But again, as long as this is not a really bad number, I don't think it's going to be something that crashes our markets or derails anything in some kind of, large way. At this point, it's all about just getting the risk catalyst out the way so markets can move higher. Okay, now PPI month over month is expected at 0.3%. Last month was 0.2%. And you also get initial jobless claims, expecting those at 221,000. And I think that's pretty much it for this week, at least as far as your big catalysts are concerned. So for Tesla, for really the broader markets, I'm not concerned about the data this week in terms of actually causing markets to fall in any kind of material way. I think you get that correction in Q1, which could start in the first few days of 2025. But until then, I don't think there's a lot to derail this market. And thus, you mix a gamma squeeze with a potential short squeeze for Tesla. This week is probably going to push Tesla to new all-time highs. By the end of this month, Tesla could be in the 500s if you do see shorts actually cover on short positions. And again, it makes a lot of sense why hedge funds would do that. If you're short in Tesla and you've taken a big loss and you think you're going to take an even bigger loss in 2025, which is probably the average base case assumption at this point, but you have big taxable gains in other areas, it makes a lot of sense to cover on that short position from a tax perspective standpoint. And that is one big reason why I do think Tesla is going higher in December and even specifically this week. Now, if you look at volume for Tesla, you only had 81.5 million shares that traded hands. Tesla can pretty regularly get into the 200 plus million range. So if we can double 2.5 times our volume from here, I mean, you could see some huge days for Tesla from a volume perspective and from a price action perspective that we have not seen since at least November 11th was the last time we were over 200 million shares that traded hands. And Tesla was up 9% that day. So add, let's say, a 10% day for Tesla. Let's say if CPI comes in lower than expected, 10% from here would put Tesla at $430 per share. That's easily doable this week. But hey, what do I know? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And that's going to do it for this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to support the channel, you can join the trading community, get access to all of the notifications I send out when I make trades. I don't make trades every day. I try to pick out the best opportunities. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're big winners, sometimes they're losers. So come there with the expectation that not all trades are going to be winners, okay? And that's pretty commonsensical if you've traded options before. Also, thank you guys for all of the super chats that you send on these videos as well. I get specific notifications for those. So if you guys have any questions ever that you really want answered, if you do send a super chat, it comes straight to my phone or computer. And is really highlighted, so I never miss one of those. And just appreciate you guys for doing that when I've never asked that. Some people were given like $2. They're like, this is for ice cream for the kids. And yeah, they had ice cream and we're up all night. So thank you guys for that one. Last time I'm giving them ice cream at 9 o'clock at night. Hey, I guess that's what dads do. Nonetheless, let me know, again, what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. What is your expectation for Tesla stock this week and throughout the month of December? Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.